I don't know about you guys, but I feel like E3 gets progressively more and more devoid of life after each year. I don't know if it's me personally, but it's just getting harder and harder to watch each year for me. In terms of who won this E3, it's all a matter of perspective. It's all a matter of what your expectations were for each of these three companies, the big companies, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony. I think that these three companies are in three different areas in the generation with their own different expectations. In terms of the third-party developers, I'm not going to go in depth really. You know what? Let's rate them real quick. Bethesda was number 1, Ubisoft second place, Square Enix third, and EA was last. And EA, you need to stop showing fucking sports games at your E3. Nobody cares. You already have an audience for all these games. I left halfway through to go build a house for my pet giraffe, Frank, and when I came back, they were still playing FIFA. It's a fucking joke, okay? So that's third-party developers. Blah. Right, so Microsoft. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that Microsoft has really lost this whole generation war, but I think this E3 was one of their best they've ever done in recent memory. The presentation they had here was top fucking notch, the pacing was really great, and there weren't that many cringy or awkward moments. There were some here and there, but that's part of the charm of E3 for me personally. The problem though was in the games. For 80% of this conference, I thought I was just watching a games conference, not a Microsoft's conference. These conferences are meant to entice consumers to buy their products, to buy an Xbox, to buy a PS4. But when like 80% of the conference is just multi-platform games that you can play on PS4, they can play on PC, it doesn't entice people to buy your console. All the exciting games that they showed at their conference were multi-platform games. Shadows Die Twice, Dying Light 2, the new Metro, Devil May Cry 5, Cyberpunk 2077. What exclusives did they actually show? They opened the conference with a cinematic trailer of the new Halo game. They got an Ori sequel. It looks fun. The first one was interesting and cool. The Motorsport series has been on a nice little decline, but Horizon been climbing up. The third Horizon was a blast to play. I'm sure the fourth one's gonna be even more fun. And yeah, Gears of War 5, that looks fine. I'm sure it'll be just as fun, if not a little bit more fun than the fourth game. And besides that, they showed you DLC for a broken game, DLC for an empty game, and DLC for Cuphead. Good job, Cuphead. Now, fuck me, they showed Crackdown 3 again. That game's been announced how many years ago? I don't understand. It's not even coming out this year. It got delayed again for next year. You cancel Scalebound, you cancel Fable, but you keep this fucking game? The trailer was like an Old Spice commercial that was formatted into a Saints Row 4 mod. It's so far behind everything that's coming out. The last big piece of information they gave us was the 5 studios they bought, but in reality, only 2 of them are worth really talking and bragging about. You got Playground Games, which have been with Microsoft for years. All they make is Forza games. What else are they gonna fucking do? And you got Undead Labs. What have they been doing? They've just been making State of Decay games for Xbox. Like, what do you expect from Undead Labs in the future? State of Decay 3, patches for State of Decay 2. Compulsion Games with that indie game We Happy Few. That's also coming out on PS4. The only 2 worth mentioning is Ninja Theory and their new in-house studio, The Initiative. Ninja Theory is a great company, and The Initiative, we have no idea what the fuck that company represents. Games take years of development, years and years to make, so I don't know when we're gonna see a game from The Initiative. Oh, and one more thing, Phil, you're a great guy, okay? I can see the dude's passionate about making Microsoft a good, awesome place to actually play games again, but stop fucking saying that the Xbox One is the best place to play games. The Xbox One is the literal worst place to play third-party games. The Xbox One X is the best place to play. You guys have both coins of this shitty power struggle, okay? The Xbox One's gone. It's the bottom of the barrel. And the fact that you guys hinted at another console being made so early into the Xbox One X's launch was so fucking weird. I thought the X was supposed to be modular. I thought it was supposed to end the console generation. You guys were already hinting at another console. It's like, what's the point? I see this conference as a launch pad of what's to come from Microsoft, and I'm excited. I need Microsoft to prove themselves. I need competition. You know, we'll just have to see if they really deliver on these promises that they're making. It's a waiting game, and Microsoft knows that, and you have to be patient, and I understand that. But they just really don't have anything coming out this year or next year that's really worth buying an Xbox One for, really. So Sony, this presentation just felt lazy to me. It felt like Sony was just like, fucking E3, I guess you have to show up. I don't know, just do what the fuck you want. Like, it just felt so awkward. The pacing was terrible. They showed The Last of Us, and then there was a 15-minute intermission where the people had to walk from one stage to the other stage. The intermissions between each trailer with the Dreams exclusive that's coming out never was really awkward and off. It threw the whole pacing off of everything even more. I hated those things. And they didn't really show that many games. games. But the games they did show, minus the VR exclusives that nobody gives a fuck about really, again, Sony just delivered on exclusives. And even the multi-plat games they showed, all of them were really exciting too. Resident Evil 2 Remake, fucking beautiful, okay? Your Control looked like what Quantum Break should have been on the Xbox One. Then you had the first party games. You had fucking Last of Us 2, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding. I mean, all these games look fucking phenomenal, right? You have Microsoft with the One X, the most powerful console in the world, but you cannot point to a single game Microsoft has that looks better visually than Last of Us 2, than Spider-Man. There's fucking nothing, and that hurts Microsoft so much. Why didn't you show Days Gone? It comes out next year, early next year, and I know Game Informer did a whole month worth of coverage for the game, but Game Informer and E3 are not weighted equally. It would have only helped your presentation to show like at least 5 minutes of exciting new Days Gone gameplay. And where the fuck was Medieval, okay? You guys announced the remake a year ago, and it would have blown people's minds to show gameplay of that game at E3. Like, 2 minutes or something. I would have been like, yes, Sony won. I don't give a fuck about everyone else, but it wasn't. So fuck you, Sony, you're stupid. So, really shitty conference in terms of presentation, really poorly paced and awkward, but great games. So, yeah. Right, so Nintendo. First of all, it wasn't even a conference, it was a pre-recorded infomercial, alright? That's not what I think about when I think about Nintendo. I think about exciting, fresh, upbeat. This felt cold, calculated, bland. Reggie seemed like he was dead inside half the time he was talking. Everyone just felt professional and just, yes, Pokemon, It was just like the Square Enix one, pre-recorded, blah, fuck it. They showed in terms of games were hit or miss. I think Xenoblade looks amazing. I think the new Pokemon game's gonna be a huge hit. You also got a lot of third-party games coming. You got Hollow Knight showing up to the Switch. You got Wolfenstein showing up to the Switch. That's all great. Awesome. That's what they need. Everything else, I didn't give a fuck about. You got Fortnite coming. Okay. You got some cooking game coming. Okay. You got Super Smash Bros. Brawl Ultimate. Wow. It was so big that they dedicated a fucking third of their conference to that game. And holy shit, that ruined the entire pacing of the conference. I get it. Super Smash Bros. Is fun. I loved every single game. I played all of them. But to dedicate like a third of the conference to it, I don't care how good your game is, that just ruins the pacing of the conference. I'm sure it's gonna be a huge hit. Everyone's gonna love it. But I wish Nintendo showed more. Where's Metroid? Where's Red Steel 3, Nintendo? There's not much to say here. It was very just, you know, some ups, a lot of downs. Who fucking won E3 in my opinion? Well, I think Nintendo lost. I'll put Nintendo last place. Microsoft or Sony? Right, so I think Microsoft had the better presentation. I think Sony showed better games. Wow, it's like they're polar opposites. You combine them together, you get an amazing conference. Wow. I really think it's 50-50 in a lot of ways. And here's where my personal bias comes in. When I watch E3, I don't watch E3 to see games that are coming out on every console. I watch E3 to see what each company has to offer, what they are bringing to the table. And Microsoft didn't really bring anything too exciting to the table in terms of what they are offering exclusives. Sony did. There are people who are gonna be buying a PS4 just to play Spider-Man. They're just like, fuck, I have to play Spider-Man, but it's only on the PS4. What do? I have to buy a PS4 for Spider-Man. That's marketing. That's how you win consumers over to buy your console. That is how you win. Microsoft doesn't have anything that makes people be like, fuck, I have to buy an Xbox One for Crackdown 3. You don't hear that. You just don't. And that's why I think Sony won this E3 technically, for me personally. And Microsoft, I bet you, is working on some great games that are coming out, but they're not coming out for another 3 years, another 2 years. They need oomph. They need new IPs. They need to excite people. They're not exciting people with their exclusives anymore. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing else to really say. Let me know what you thought about E3 if you watched it. I will see you later. I'm gonna go hang out with my giraffe. Bye.